New theme. The theme for this month is on vocation. And you'll notice that our theme as we go through this month has a lot to do with these heart qualities, which is what, so today we're going to be talking about finding our purpose, but also further along in the month. So just to give you a little bit of an overview, we'll be looking at also gratitude and compassion fatigue around the holidays, and volunteering and mentorship as well. So as we go through this month, the breathing practice we will be addressing is on heart-focused breathing. We're borrowing this from the Heart Math Institute. So well-tested and well-studied breathing technique. And so I think you'll find this interesting. So I encourage you as we go through our program today to look at what could be incorporated into your day, into your week, to integrate what you're learning. So it's not just here, but you actually start to use these skills elsewhere in your life. That's where the rubber hits the road and where the real magic happens in being able to make these tools help us in our transforming our life. So on to our topic for tonight, which is finding your purpose and what is your vocation. So purpose can be defined in so many different ways. One is where your deep longing meets the world's deep need. So where your deep longing meets the world's deep need. And author Parker Palmer says vocation does not mean a goal that I pursue. It means a calling that I hear. Before I can tell my life what I want to do with it, I must listen to my life telling me who I am. And so there we're going back to that heart-focused breathing that we're going to be practicing. I always think of the heart so if I make a heart, I'm going to bring it here so you can see it against the backdrop of my red shirt. If we make a heart with our hands, we make a heart in any way, it's like the shape of two ears, right? So listening with the heart, and the word here is in the word heart. So it's the word here and the word art are in the word heart. So it's an art to do this kind of listening. And that's what Parker Palmer is talking about, is I must be willing to listen to my life telling me who I am. I must listen for the truths and the values, the heart of my own identity, not the standards by which I must live, but the standards by which I cannot help but live if I'm living my own life. We tend to listen for guidance elsewhere. We tend to take in the information from other people. Oh, you should, I remember this as myself, as a young person too. Oh, you should do this or you should do that, right? And how many of so I heard, oh, you can't make anything of yourself unless you go into business. So I went into business and I hated it. It didn't work for me, but I was listening to external voices instead of my own internal voice, right? And my listening for the heart. So, and let's see. So it's that deep listening and paying attention to where our deep longing meets the world's deep needs. And very often our own struggles in life and our own joys and we will do this in a meditation today, are also a great indicator of what we can bring to the world, what we are being called to bring to the world. So let's settle in, and we're going to do this heart-focused breathing. It's very simple, and it just will support us. And I encourage you to try this anytime to make this part of your practice. So let's find a comfortable seat and allow the eyes to softly close, or maybe taking the gaze cast down in front of you. And we do this as a way to take out the external world. So if it's comfortable to close the eyes or just take the gaze down, please welcome that. Experiment with it. See if that works for you, how that works for you. And as we close the eyes or take away the external world, we become more open to tuning into that internal space. And the doorway to that is always the breath. So I invite you to just become aware of how you're breathing in this moment. Noticing if you're breathing in through the nose or the mouth. Noticing if you're breathing out through the nose or the mouth. Just beginning to awaken the noticing mind, the witness mind. And as you tune into the breath, notice where you feel the breath in your body. Where you feel the expansion as you breathe in, and the contraction as you breathe out. And then I invite you just to bring your awareness to the space around the heart, the center of the chest and the level of the heart. We call this the energetic heart center. And cultivate or bring to mind or allow the experience of gratitude, those heart-focused feelings to come to you. So whatever comes to you organically, just allowing it to emerge, whether that's joy or gratitude or genuine care, with those heart qualities. And so you might engage the mind to think of something that you're grateful for, think of something that brings you great joy. But then we're letting go of the thinking about it to be aware of the feeling of it. It's calling to mind, calling to heart, those things that light your heart up. And that might be genuine care for your pet, a loved one, maybe your favorite blanket, just anything that makes you feel really connected to that quality of the heart. And so you may or may not start to feel a little energy, a little sensation around the heart space. And then I invite you to explore the feeling of as if you could breathe into that heart space and then breathe out from that heart space. So it's breathing in, energy flowing towards the heart, breathing out, energy flowing from the heart. And we call this heart-focused breathing. And inviting a breath that's a little deeper than typical. And you might associate a count with this, maybe a 5 or 6 count in breath, maybe a 5 or 6 count out breath. And just imagining that flowing toward the heart and from the heart. Making that sincere attempt to cultivate that heart-focused feeling, truly appreciate what brings you joy. And just knowing that as you do this practice, this breathing, that all these hundreds of systems within the body start to shift and change. We're changing cortisol levels. We're changing our heart rhythms. Digestive system comes in tune. There's so many systems that are impacted by just taking this time to come into this space of coherence with the heart. And it often feels to me as if my heart is smiling. Smiling, an experience of contentment. But maybe you have a way that you could describe for yourself as you drop into this space, what it feels like for you so that you can remember how to anchor that in and come back to it at any time. And so 2 more full breath cycles, that heart-focused breathing. And then allowing yourself to just let go of any technique and to just be open and receptive to receiving these intentions or these affirmations that you may adopt as an intention, or you can adopt your own, creating your own intention for our time together today. So the first one is, I pay attention to what lights me up. My joys and my challenges offer me my greatest insights about my strengths and who I am called to be. And the last one, my purpose lives in my heart. And when you're ready, finding your, opening the eyes and finding your way to a chair for our chair practice, a simple chair yoga practice. And so I just invite you to come, if you found a comfortable chair for our meditation, maybe coming toward the front edge of our chair so that we can be more upright and more not quite as relaxed and more engaged in our body and muscles. So just finding, again, that comfortable seat, but with the body, the muscles engaged, holding us up. So again, the spine is nice and lifted. And feeling your feet on the floor, feeling the ground beneath you. And tuning into the breath again. And just becoming aware of any sensations in the shoulders and neck. And start to explore what sensation or what movement would feel good for your neck and shoulders. So maybe starting to circle one, warming up. So many of us carry, especially when we're caring for someone else, we sort of carry the weight of that in our shoulders. And so giving ourselves the time to pay attention to what sensations show up in our body helps us to kind of let go and relieve some of that tension. And so you might circle one and then the other. And then maybe both together. But listening to your body, so I might offer some suggestions, but I encourage you to really listen. And if your body starts to discover, oh, I'd really like to move this way, I invite you to do that. That is how we start to cultivate that listening to our own body, listening to our own heart. Great. And then let's bring the hands together behind the back. So you might even interlace them behind the back. You can explore that. Reaching the hands away and maybe lifting the heart. Explore. Realize that was open. And lifting the heart and feeling that heart energy. So back bends help us become more buoyant in our heart. And then coming back to neutral. And then we'll just bring the hands over toward one hip. So the hands are still interlaced behind. And explore where you can bring those hands on the back, maybe more toward the hip. But just so that we start to feel a little softening down on that opposite shoulder. And so as you clasp the hands or bring that hand behind the back and hold it there, and I invite you just to start to explore some range of motion, moving the head a little side to side. And then as you come back to center, then pouring the ear toward the shoulder where the hands are. So away from the side, where that shoulder is dropping down, creating length in that side of the neck, keeping that heart open. Good. And then let's release one hand and just bring a little bit of soft or gentle stretch to that side of the head and neck. Good. And then drawing the chin down and releasing the hands. And then pausing in neutral and noticing what sensations you feel here. Notice the difference between the right side and the left side. And then if you like, bringing the hands together behind the back or just reaching that opposite hand or left hand behind the back and then let the other hand meet it over by the hip. And then again, letting that shoulder drop down and letting some movement, exploring some movement in the, you take the head side to side or maybe up and down. Just finding mindfully where your body would like to feel a little stretch. And staying connected to the breath. Good. And then as you come back to center, we're pouring the ear toward the shoulder, keeping that nice lift in the spine. Oh, so we're pouring the ear away from the shoulder that's softening down or toward the side where the hands are. And then releasing that right hand, bringing that hand to the outside, on the left side of the head, very gently, very mindfully drawing that ear towards shoulder. And then drawing chin down toward the chest, releasing. Good. And then drawing the shoulders up and back and down. It's also been said that the shoulder blades on the back are like wings, right? So they move. And they're considered the wings of the heart because they're literally on the back of the body, right? just on either side of the heart. So it's like they're wings of the heart, and it truly is. When we have pressure on our shoulders, it's as though our wings can't quite fly, right? So let's take the arms out and up. Now that we've freed up the shoulders a little bit, reaching the arms overhead. Good. And with the exhale, let's stretch the legs out. Good. And fold forward. Discover where your body wants that stretch. And so maybe your knees are bent, maybe the legs are extended out. Maybe releasing again the back of the neck, softening the jaw, and relaxing the muscles of the face. And when you're ready, coming back upright. Good. Now let's take the hands to the back of the chair once again, lifting the heart and lifting the gaze, broadening the shoulders. Again, little back bend after our forward fold. Good. Back bend's a little energizing, forward fold's a little calming. So you might discover what your body desires, what feels good in your body. So, and it's not that for everyone, but in general, back bend's a little awakening, opening, forward folding, a little calming, going inward. Awesome. So let's come to a little standing pose. We'll do a star pose. So I'll move my chair to the side, and we'll take the feet wide, and we'll take the arms wide. So we call this star pose. So I like to think about how the energy of the heart radiates outward, right? And it radiates out from the front of the body, and it radiates out the back of the body. And we can invite it to radiate down the arms and down the legs to become that light of heart energy in that star pose. And so even here can be a little bit of a back bend, connecting, feeling the strength of the support of the core, and opening the heart wide, opening the hands, spreading the fingers, feeling your strength. Good. And then just releasing the hands down once again. Good. Let's bring the hands together behind the back. And again, interlacing the fingers and drawing the hands toward the earth. Or you can just reach the hands down. Decide what feels good in your body. Good. And again, lifting the heart. And then we're connecting to the core and keeping the legs strong and bowing forward. And with the in-breath coming up. Great. How are you feeling? Let's find our chair, and this time bring our hands to the chair and step back for downward facing dog. Good. So bowing in, finding that nice long spine. And then from downward facing dog, we're going to explore something called half moon pose. So we're going to bring one hand to the chair, and one foot is going to be right underneath our hip. And then we'll explore where do you feel steady with the support of the chair to start to explore lifting that other leg up. Good. Wherever you feel safe, steady, just explore. And you might explore if that foot is pointed or flexed. Maybe you would rather hold on to the back of a chair. And that top arm can come to the hip, or maybe you're reaching that top arm up. Good. Notice what it feels like. No judgment, no shame. Notice if that supporting leg is bent or straight. Can you breathe through it? As that feels complete, releasing that hand and that foot back. And let's pause with the downward facing dog once again, and then just noticing what happens in your body, what effect that movement, that form have in your body. Where do you feel it? And then let's set up for the opposite side. You might come around to the other side of the chair. And bring the hand to the chair. We're positioning our shoulder over our wrist so we're nice and stable. And then stepping a foot out. Just to the inside of the chair, and then setting the opposite leg back. So you might experiment with, where do you feel stable? Find the position that feels right for you. Let this be an exploration. No right or wrong. It's all about discovering what we experience in our body. Because when we have these practices of tuning into what our body needs, what sensations show up, we feel, we start to become more tuned in to listening to our heart. And that's a long process, but we can begin. We can begin. Good. And when that feels complete, releasing once again, hand and foot back. And then let's find downward facing dog one more time. It's a nice form for us to explore what sensation we feel as a result of the movement we just did. What shifted? What changed? Okay. So then walking in, and then we can choose here. We're going to do warrior 2. So you might choose to do that on the chair, or you might choose to do that standing. So I'll demonstrate on the chair. You'll come to the front edge of your chair and just have the thigh that is closest to the chair on the front edge of the chair, and then the opposite leg moves back behind you. Good. And then we'll open to the side, and it's warrior 2. Good. So that you can do with the chair, or it's very similar standing. It's just we just have to bend that knee to the level that feels right for us. So I like doing warrior 2 with the chair. It does give me a different kind of stretch from when I stand doing this posture. And then taking the gaze out over the fingers of the forward hand and connecting to the heart. So let's do this. Maybe experiment with bringing the hands in toward the heart and then sending the arms out. Warrior 2. Breathing in, draw the hands in, breathing out, reaching out. And one more time, breathing in, drawing in toward the heart, breathing out, sending out from the heart. And then exhaling, releasing. And let's switch sides. So setting yourself up well, you might even hold on to the back of the chair as you get situated. That thigh, we're using that whole front of the chair for the thigh. Or you might use a side of the chair. Make sure it's comfortable for you. The knee is over the ankle. And then we're opening to the side, finding that strength that inner strength lifting up and gazing out. Warrior pose is a lot about focus and determination, but it's also about being a warrior for our own journey, for the inner journey of discovering the heart. So it's not about war, but about that focus and determination. And so again, let's breathe in and come into the heart and breathe out, sending that out from the heart. It takes a lot of courage, doesn't it? To live from the heart, to live into our callings. And thank goodness Christy listened to her heart, or we wouldn't all be here together. Her calling was to create Courage to Caregivers. And here we are as a result of someone doing the work, discovering their calling. And aren't we lucky? Awesome. So let's do a meditation, because maybe there's something maybe not quite as big as what Christy has done, because she's done quite an undertaking, but maybe it is, who knows? We're going to do a little meditation, and maybe this meditation will offer you some insights about what your heart is calling you to. So take this time to get yourself set up well, find a comfortable position, blanket, whatever props you want to set up well for our meditation. So taking the time to get comfortable, because when we have ease in the body, it's so important to take these times to find ease and comfort. Because when there's ease in the body, it is a way of sending a message to our heart, just like that heart-focused breathing, that everything is okay. We settle the cortisol response. It opens us up to our intuition, to our right brain processes, creativity. You try to be creative if you're stressed, right? It just doesn't work. So tuning into the heart when we're stressed is really hard. So taking the time to and start to invite a longer, slower breath, and slowing that internal speed way down. And again, tuning into the breath and feeling yourself breathing in and breathing out. And now I invite you to take your attention to the space just above and between your eyebrows. And looking out as if you could look out from this space. Turning the eyes as if you could look through a portal. And turning your attention around to become the observer, the witness. Recognizing your inner being, this unseen part of you, whatever name you feel comfortable with that, might be considered the deeper or truest part of yourself, or your soul or spirit. The being that your human is. We say human being and we do so much doing. But this is really a way to witness the being that is in you. And this deeper part of you is all-knowing. Knows many things that the conscious mind doesn't necessarily know. You are made of source energy. You are magnificent. So tuning into your heart, trust that you are this inner being, and allow this focus into your heart to be your guide. Breathing in and out. Again, as if you could breathe in and out from that heart space. Allowing those heart feelings to be generated. Genuine care, feelings of peace, feelings of joy. And as you generate those heart feelings, then just ask, what is my purpose? What do I really want? Or what do I really love to do? And taking the time to just listen, not grasping, but allowing it to come to you. If anything and everything is possible, which it is, and your inner being completely knows this, in this magnificent universe where anything and everything is possible, remind yourself, I have a choice. What would make me truly happy? What would I choose? Let your heart feel your inner being. Let it speak to you through the feelings in your heart. Feel your heart speaking to you. There is unlimited possibilities and potential. Everything has led you to this space because there is a part of you who knows that it deserves to be happy, truly happy. This world is made for each of us to expand and express our joy, your joy. That's why we're here. What is your joy? Feeling your inner being. Feel it talking to you through your heart. The only limitations are the ones you put on yourself. Become aware of what you really are. You are an energetic being, and everything around you is energy. It starts with allowing yourself to feel. Feel your good feelings. What makes your inner being sing? What makes your heart feel happiness? What is your true purpose? Now I invite you to go with me on a journey. I invite you to allow a time to come to, in your personal history, to come to you, to be recalled. A time before the age of about 14. Think of a time when you were truly happy, really lit up with life. It might have been a time with a friend or in a place, with a family member, a group of family or friends. But a time that you felt most alive in some way. Allow this memory to come to you. And in your mind's eye, really go into this experience. What were you doing? Maybe you remember what you were wearing. Where were you? Who were you with? I invite you to get connected to the feelings you experienced here. What were you feeling? Beyond happy, what emotions were you experiencing? Get in touch with these emotions. If you had to describe what you felt in that memory, what emotions would best describe it? What 1, 2, or 3 emotions would best describe your experience? Now, I invite you to think of a time in your personal history between the ages of 15 and 25, a time when you were truly happy, just lit up with life. In your mind's eye, really go into this experience. What were you doing? Where were you? Who were you with? What were you wearing? Get connected to the feelings you experienced here. What were you feeling? Beyond happy, what emotions were you experiencing? Feel those, allow yourself to feel those good emotions, those good feelings right now. And if you had to describe what you felt in that memory, what emotions would best describe it? What 1, 2, or 3 emotions would best describe what you felt in this memory, in this scene? Now, one more time, think of a time in your life since the age of 25 when you were truly happy, really lit up with life. Allow a memory to come to you. You're over 25. What were you doing? Where were you? Who were you with? What was happening? What feelings were you feeling here? Really plug into those feelings. Those feelings are your compass. Really allow yourself to feel those good feelings again. Bring them back up. Recall that experience. And then if you had to describe what you felt in that memory, what emotions would best describe that experience? What 1, 2, or 3 emotions best describe that experience? What were the top 3 emotions you felt in each scenario? Our positive emotions come from the heart. They offer us clues about what our heart is telling us. These emotions can be thought of as a compass, directing us where to go. When we do the things that generate these feelings for ourselves, And then discover how we can bring those same emotions to others. We complete the cycle. Bringing to others what we ourselves desire for ourselves. Oftentimes, the work we've done to overcome the struggles in our life offers insights about how we can serve others by doing what lights us up, bringing more of these positive emotions forward. Now feel the love and happiness that is within you all the time, regardless of what is going on around you. And know that the outside pictures will change the more you focus on the good within. Follow these good feelings in your heart. They are your guide. Now breathing in and out. Begin to bring your awareness back. And before you come completely back, review your responses from the meditation. And when you feel ready, perhaps taking a few moments to jot a few notes about your experience from your meditation in the journal. Those top 3 emotions often show up repeatedly. So as you're ready, take some time to come back. Feel free to grab a journal or a piece of paper. Jot some notes about those top 3 emotions in each of those scenes. So under the age of 14, 14 to 25, and over 25. And when you're ready, I invite you to come back to your camera, unmute yourself, and share, if you're willing,